one.
That's just rehearsal.
Yeah.
That's rehearsal. That's what that was.
All right. So, and the cool thing about this, Wayne, is that it's all edited. So if you say something, you'd be like, man, I don't like what I just said. I don't want you to put that in there.
Yeah.
I can delete it.
Okay.
It's no big deal.
Nah, you don't have to delete that.
And well, and it works really well to just be natural.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. But when it's finished, you'll be able to share your story with your people, whoever whoever you want to.
Whoever, yeah.
And we find that our guests like that. They seem to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So is there anything before we start that you want us to bring up particularly?
You can ask me whatever you want.
But is there any part of your life that's like something that might not get asked that we don't want to miss? A highlight or a low point or an obstacle you overcame that is important? I don't want to miss anything that...
Death of my brother.
The death of your brother.
Yeah, that was a major turn in my life.
Okay. Very good.
Right about it, though.
Okay. Well, we're going to go through childhood. We're going to go through adolescence. What age were you when that happened?
30.
Okay.
2016.
So it wasn't all that long ago.
Yeah. 7/11/16.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what this is. This one.
Oh, okay.
That's my memorial for my brother.
Jonte.
Yeah, Jonte Alex. He was murdered in Houston.
Good gravy. Like with a gun or?
Yeah, he was shot 6 times.
Holy moly.
Yeah?
Did they find who did it?
Nah.
Well, I am sorry that happened.
Right.
Most definitely. I appreciate it.
Good night.
Well, we will make sure we honor him in the program to give you the opportunity to do so as well.
Most definitely.
All right, well, let's get going. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us again with Pursuit of Purpose. I'm Robbie. This is
Chuck.
And today we have with us a very special guest. His name is Wayne. Wayne, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
For sure. Wayne Alex. I own Next Level Car Care, on the spot detailing, and Detail Gold Chemicals.
How did you get into that?
My father, man, he loved cleaning his car. We used to sit at the car wash and be up there for 2 or 3 hours cleaning his truck, man. And I'd be like, man, I'm so ready to go home. But he had to do everything. He had to armor all the tires. He had to do the inside. And every crack and cranny had to be clean. So after watching him do it for so long, when I got older, I developed a love for it. So that's what made me get into it.
Well, something soothing about having a clean car. It's kind of like having a fresh haircut.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel better about yourself in the moment, especially,
Most
right?
definitely.
And the car just seems to feel better around you when it's clean, right?
Right.
So what your service is to help other people feel better about themselves by feeling good about their ride.
Most definitely. It's like a puzzle for me.
Yeah.
Detailing. If I get a vehicle that's really, really bad, it's like putting together a puzzle. I want to see where I can start, and I love the customer's reaction. I love a customer to come and pick up their vehicle and say, hey, man, you did an awesome job. It looks better than it did when I bought it. You know, those type of responses boost me up to go and do it again. So
that's your reward for what you do,
Most definitely.
more so than the money. You get that emotional reward.
Most definitely.
That's
If
very
the customer
good.
is satisfied, it makes me feel a lot better. The pay is fine. Like, I mean, you need it, but
Of course.
most definitely it's the customer's response to the vehicle.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. No, that's great. So, we're here. Our show is recorded here in Beaumont, Texas. So I presume you do most all your business here.
Yes, sir.
And what ways do you do that? So do you have a physical plant? Are you mobile? I know there's some certain your industry has different ways of doing it.
So we're in the process of adding mobile back. I started doing mobile in the Golden Triangle and throughout of Louisiana area, Houston area. I just kind of branched out doing mobile. But my goal was always to have a shop. I was just scared of a shop. A shop is different. You got insurance. You got to watch people. it was just a lot different. You got a lot of overhead. So I was real scared of a shop. I had 2 shops before, and they failed. And I just didn't want to do it again. I didn't care for a shop. And the Edison Plaza reached out to me about the space they had here. And I came up and I turned them down like 2 or 3 times. I was like, nah, I'm cool. And then I prayed about it. I thought about it. And I called her and told her, hey, I'll take the spot. And she was like, well, it's as is. You know, we're not going to do this and that. I was like, okay, that's fine. And then once I got in, I started saying, hey, I need this done. Hey, I need this redone. And they were very helpful. The Edison Plaza really stepped in and stepped out. Like, they redone my bathroom. They painted. They did upgrades. More than what my contract was supposed to had in it. But they really redid a lot for me. They helped. We have meetings a lot of times if I feel like more advertising needs to be done within the building on their part, because I am an extension of them. And they listen. They actually listen, and they go and initiate it. So
That has become quite the partnership.
most definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of love for those people that work in the building that run the Edison Plaza. They always are open to sit down with me and ask me what I need, and they do it for me.
And for them to seek you out, they obviously saw beyond just the fact that you do good detailing. You were somebody that they wanted on board.
Most definitely. I am the GOAT.
You are the goat.
I am the detail GOAT. So I've been in the area doing it for a while, and my work speaks for itself. They were able to go to my website, check out some of my work, my reviews on Google, and they were like, yeah, we want you here. So.
Yeah. Yes.
And for those of you listening out there in other parts of the world, other parts of the country, Edison Plaza is a building in the town where we're from. It's where our studio is located, and it's the most up-to-date, modern building in our town. So for him to be offering his services at this location as the only person who offers his type of service here is a very exclusive business. It is a sign of success in and of itself. So just to clarify what Edison Plaza is for all of you out there paying attention. So you've talked to us about what you do. You give us a little bit of the backstory of what influenced you to get into that. So if you wouldn't mind, let's talk about the background of the man. Tell us about where you're from, your childhood a little bit. Just let us get to know you, if you don't mind.
Okay. I grew up in Orange, Texas. Went to Little Cypress, Mauriceville. When I was younger, we moved to Austin, which is home to me, and I lived in Austin forever. That's been home. That's what raised me was Austin. So I grew up there. My parents were divorced at a younger age, so my mother raised me. She raised me and 3 other sons. And my father passed away about 12 years ago. But we were always a big family, close family, so we ended up moving back to the Golden Triangle, and we've been here ever since. So
How many siblings?
I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6 of y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. It's a good sized family. Seems like a common theme here at Pursuit of Purpose. We have quite a few with good sized families that come on the show.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a study at some point to see what the correlation is of entrepreneurial mindsets and success in large families.
Right.
So, how long have you been in business with your detailing business?
This is my first year. We just came up on the first year here in the Edison Plaza as far as a location, but I've been doing this for 10 years. I thought the first 3 years I was going to be rich. I thought, hey, I'm starting a business, make the prices nice, I'll be rich in the next couple years. Like, it's no big deal. I get that quick. But, you know, when you get to running into other people and realizing that, man, this takes a long time. And most people that are in business for themselves, they don't hit success until they're in their 50s. You know, so, and it was really, really confusing for me. It was really confusing because I was like, man, I thought I was going to be rich last year. So Yeah.
That movie perspective sure does change when real life sets in, doesn't
Yes,
it? You
yes.
watch all these TV shows and movies, and it seems to happen so fast. But here in real life, things take energy, focus,
And time.
time, effort, all of that stuff. And they don't tell you all that stuff in the movies and the TV shows.
Right.
They just make it look simple and easy.
Right.
It sounds as though after getting started, and like you said, we were all three businessmen, so we said part of our ambition is the calculation and what's it going to cost me in time and space, and then what's that revenue coming in. But what I'm hearing in your business, there's been a lot of reinvesting,
Right.
because you have equipment that has wear and tear. Then you're looking at options. Okay, well, if I do this, what's that going to cost? And so as you got in and that reality started setting in, what did you find you had a natural affinity to kind of plan that out, or did you have to do some learning up?
Learning. I thought buying the cheapest product would save me money until I started buying cheap products and then using it and realizing, hey, I don't like the way this looks on a customer car. Or having a customer complain about a product. Or the smell of it, the way it looks. A lot of stuff that I had to realize in the beginning that, hey, you're just going to have to spend money on this.
Yeah.
You know, so I did have a lot of struggles in the beginning. My first struggle was trying to put my van together to make it to where my
For your
time-
mobile service?
Right.
Yeah.
To make it to where the time would make sense. How long would it take me to set everything up? So I timed myself, and it would take me 30 minutes at first to set up.
Just to
And
do
then
one vehicle.
one vehicle.
Wow.
It would take 30 minutes. I would have to pull out the pressure washer. I would have to pull out the vacuum, the chemicals, get the vehicle, and then I'm set up, and then it's like a whole hour and a half doing the vehicle. So the next appointment I would be late to because I'm working on this one, and then I don't know the condition of this vehicle. So, you know, it would take me longer. The next person is mad because I'm late.
Right.
So I had to, okay, how can I make this easier to where I could get here and set up? So I finally got it down to a 5-minute setup time. Change the setup time. The detailing of the vehicles, I didn't take appointments at first. I would just let somebody call me, what time, what date, and then, okay, cool, I go back to it, look at it, cool, and then I'll forget somebody. Because I started getting so many people that somebody would text and say, hey, you're supposed to be here at 12 and it's 3 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about this person. You know, so I had to integrate appointments.
Right.
I had to do extra dirty fees. Like, it was so much when I first started that I had to change that it was like, oh man, like I didn't realize it was going to be all this. I thought I was just going to detail a car.
Right.
So yeah, it was a lot of changes that I went through that really made me look at it like I need to sit down and start writing some stuff down.
But you had to build and write your systems for efficiency.
Yes.
And that's what you were doing. You were self-educating, which is one of the greatest things that entrepreneurs get the privilege of doing.
Most definitely.
You were learning in your process.
Yeah.
And what better way to have done it? It sounds like as you did it, you had great forethought. You paid close attention, and you were looking to develop a better way every day.
Right.
Which
YouTube University. I went there.
that's great. That's great. I love that. I love that.
Yes.
You're using the tools at your disposal
Right.
to make your own
Yeah.
process and service better.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
genius.
I would go study stuff. I never told somebody that I didn't know how to do anything. I would just tell them, give me 2 days and I'll call you and let you know how much it'll cost you. So,
I love that.
I mean, my first time doing it was a gel coat fix. A guy had a boat. They threw the anchor, and I think he forgot to pull it all the way up, so it hit the bottom of
Whacking
the
the
boat,
boat, yeah.
and stuck a hole in the bottom. And he said, man, can you fix that? I said, give me 2 days, and I'll let you know how much it'll cost you. And I would go home, and I would get on YouTube and get a tablet, sit there, and just study every video on gel coat. And about 2 days, I knew what to buy, I knew how to fix it, and I would do it
And you had the confidence.
right there.
You were prepared.
You
That's
know, so-
awesome.
and it would work. So, you know, that's the kind of attitude I've had about anything that happens with a car, RV, boat, motorcycle. give me 2 days. Like, let me figure it out.
I love that commitment to yourself and that commitment to your service. That's amazing. Something else you learned that's super valuable to everybody out there, and it's a lesson that if anyone could learn from listening, please learn this one. You get what you pay for.
Right.
You mentioned earlier that you attempted in your beginning stages to buy the cheap product.
Right.
You attempted to do this, that, and the other and save every penny you could by buying the quote-unquote cheap stuff. And you learned real quick why the cheap stuff was cheap.
Yes.
And why it wouldn't work for you, because you were wanting to provide a premium service.
Yeah.
Therefore, you needed to provide premium product in that service, right?
Yes, sir. And I would buy cheap stuff at bulk price.
Right.
You know, so I would be. I remember this one place sold me some soap, and the soap was like $30 for a 5-gallon bucket of it. And I was like, oh man, that's cheap.
Can't beat that deal.
Oh, I won't. Give me 2 of them. You know, so I buy 2 of these soaps, and I knew it would last me for a little while. So I left one in my garage, took one on the van with me, and I would use it all day. All day I'm using soap. Well, the one I left in the garage, because it was cheap, it just didn't work. It wouldn't set up, nothing. And I was like, does soap do this? Like, and I asked about it, I researched it, the guy said, man, no, it doesn't. Soap
Normal
don't do
soap
that.
doesn't, real
he
soap.
said, man, that it's cut. You know,
Ah.
he said they're cutting it. And I was like, how do you cut soap?
Water.
He was like, yeah, man, water. They'll put water in. I said, bro, you can't put soap and water together and let it. He said, what they are. That's what they sold you. So I realized I had to pay more for my soap. You know, so
Yes.
that wasn't going to work. Tire Shine was another one. I would buy a Tire Shine, put it on the car. The customer would take off. The Tire Shine would sling all up the side of the car. There'd be black marks everywhere.
Yeah, buddy.
And customers didn't like it. They were like, man, I don't want that on my tire. So I'm buying the cheap stuff, and didn't realize I had to pay almost $200 for my Tire Shine to get the right one. And now that's the one thing that people always ask me for. Like, hey, man.
Want that good tire shine.
I want the good tire shine.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a learning process.
So hopefully, if any of your customers are listening to this, they have a better understanding now of they get what they pay for as
Most
well.
definitely. You get a lot of what you pay
Yes.
for, because I buy the best products on the market, and I don't buy anything that you can use in the store to use on the car. None of my products you can get off the shelf.
Off the shelf. Yes, that's good. That's good to know. So, are any of your family, or were you married at the time you started this, or any of your family involved in your business?
Yes, I was married. I'm married,
Okay.
and have been for 9 years now.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you. She was very helpful in the beginning, and still is. She still does a lot of advertising for me online. She tells people about me. She was very helpful woman. She believed in it when nobody else did, you know, so people would have something to say or tell. I heard it all, man. I heard nobody's going to pay for you to come clean their cars. You're not going to make enough money. This isn't going to work. What are you going to do when it rains? What are you going to do when it get cold? And, hey, man, we've been at it for 10 years, going on 11 now. So the same people that were asking me questions about how are the same people asking me for a job. So
And now they're asking you how you're doing it.
right,
You know,
right,
they want to learn from you.
most definitely,
They're not trying to be negative towards you.
most definitely.
That's amazing. That's inspirational.
One of the things we're going to compare and contrast these two questions. We want to hear some least favorite things, but then we want to hear some most favorite things about your journey from concept to where you are a decade later. So. And I want you to imagine one of these people who are coming up to you like, man, how did you? So you can be an honest answer. These are the things I deal with I don't like. These are the things I do. Start with some of the least favorite.
Not being able to satisfy a customer.
Okay.
That's one of my least favorite. I hate, and that's a strong word, but I'm so serious. I hate not being able to satisfy a customer.
Yeah.
If they write a bad review or something, I try to reach out to them, talk to them, try to give them something free, try to make it right. Not because of the review or because of them talking about my business bad, but about how they look at my business because I want a repeat customer.
Yeah.
So that's my least favorite. I believe getting people to understand how hard it is to detail a car. That's kind of annoying. You know, people will call you and say, "Hey, I want the seat scrubbed. I want the floor scrubbed. I need an engine clean. I need a wax. How much is that going to cost me? About $200. Oh man, that's too high.
And I need it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that's too high, man. I'm not going to pay that. Okay, well, what do you want to pay? I was thinking like $100. Okay, I can't do that.
I can give you a number of somebody that might be able to do it for you.
Right.
So that's about the least favorite is people thinking that, you know, I can just give them a full detail for $100.
Yeah.
Or just not being able to satisfy a customer.
Right.
So
Right. And so some of that dissatisfaction, you've worked through some of those disappointments. Like I realize, you know, my need for ideal product. And then some of that is just a customer's own misunderstanding. They don't seem to realize they want the finished product, but they don't realize what it takes to get there.
Right.
And and maybe, and I mean, I hate to say it, but maybe if they stood there and watched you work, they'd be like, "Man, I'm glad I don't have to do all that." And then all of a sudden, $200 doesn't seem so high.
Right.
And that may be an option for you now that you go to YouTube University. Maybe you can have your own class and go just a couple of little quick details to show you what all goes in.
Yeah.
I don't know. So. But I love your tenacity to learn from failure. That is impressive, and what we try to do here at Pursuit of Purpose is to embrace those disappointing, failing moments. And you do that as confidence as a man to say, you know, I thought I could get away with a cheaper purchase,
right,
and learn that that's not going to work. And so I appreciate that about you. How about a most favorite? Now, you mentioned about customer satisfaction, but maybe there's other things that you really enjoy about doing what you do.
I enjoy talking to people, meeting different people, talking to them about their vehicle. I enjoy helping people protect their investment. A car is an investment. If you buy a car, you spend $30. Well, now a truck. Just went and looked at a truck, and it was like almost $100,000 for this truck.
Wow.
A dually, and you buy these vehicles, and you depend on them. You need this car to help you with your business. You need this car to get back and forth to work, pick up your kids. That is your investment. You have to pay this vehicle off. So, what would it cost you to pay it off? Okay, 30, 40 grand. You pay it off and you haven't cleaned it, then, you know, it looks like crap. You know, it's dirty, it's scratched up because you didn't want to get it clean. I encourage a lot of people to get ceramic coating, and people will tell me, "Oh man, I heard bad things about it." I hear what you're saying, but I've been using this coating for almost 5 years, so I understand how it works. I understand that it protects your car. So my thing that I love the most is helping people. I try not to charge people crazy rates, especially if I know I'm going to make the money that I need to make for my business, and I don't have to just go all crazy on the prices. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy the fact that a customer came in the other day and was like, "Hey, I need a ceramic." She's like, "The last quote I got was $1,500." And I told her, "Well, we could do it for like $800." She was like, "Wow, like why so cheap?" I said, "Well, I didn't get in this business to rob people. I'm not paying that much for the product. It's not going to take me that long to do it. So why should I charge you that much money?" You know, so I'm never going to be a person to try to get every dollar out of a person, because I believe if you help somebody, they're always going to come back to you.
Yeah.
You know, hey, he didn't try to charge me too much. He could have,
Right.
but he didn't. So they're going to come back. And my motto is repeat customers.
Yes.
I need repeat customers.
Yes. So caring for people and caring what they care about.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, something else that I hear, and I'm gonna touch on something that probably would be an unexpected benefit to getting your car detailed on a regular basis. You know, people don't neglect changing their oil most of the time.
Most definitely.
They keep tires on their vehicle because it's a safety issue.
Right.
They don't neglect their air conditioner. If it stops working, they get it fixed.
Right.
And what happens when you go to a tire shop to get your tires changed? What do those people do? They look through whatever's touching that tire and wheel. They check your brakes for you. They do, check your alignment if you ask them to. They check other things, and if they notice a problem, they tell the customer. Well, what better a service could you possibly offer than if you see a problem on their vehicle and they're not likely to see it, you probably would tell them.
Most definitely.
And who would be more familiar with more vehicles than somebody who details them?
Most definitely.
So you have the ability to notice more about a person's car, definitely more than they do for the most part, and in different places than they look. Would you agree with that?
Oh, most definitely.
Have you ever noticed anything about a vehicle and told somebody about it?
Every day. Windshield wipers is one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's the most dangerous thing that people don't think about.
I didn't even think about it in the list that I was given.
Till you're on the highway doing 75 and it
In the
starts
rain.
pouring down
Yes.
rain and your windshield wipers are bad. I try to tell people, hey, you need to change your windshield wipers. They're bad. I just want to let you know.
Do you offer it as a service if they need it?
If they ask, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll do it. If there's lights out on the car and I see it, because you can prevent them from getting a ticket. Tires. I tell a lot of people about their tires. Hey, you need to get your tires changed.
Yes.
Anything that I see that I can help them with, I let them know before and after. Hey, I want to let you know there's scratches on your car before I start.
That you didn't do.
That I didn't. So I want to let you know. So, a lot of people don't see things until their car is clean.
Yes,
Once the car is
that's
clean,
right.
it's like, what's this? What's that?
Look at all the mess you uncovered.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like to let people know, hey, this is on your vehicle. This is here. This is wrong. Anything that I see, and it's not because I'm trying to sell them something.
No.
It's because I want to help you. I want to let you know, hey, this needs to be fixed. Most of my customers are women. Women don't do nothing but drive cars.
Most of the time, that's right.
Mostly
yeah.
they don't even put gas in them. So,
My wife's that way. I put gas in her car.
Yeah, so I try to make it to where I let them know, hey, this is going on. You might want to let your husband know so he can change it. This is wrong. If you need me to do it, I'll do it. And you can buy it and bring it to me. I'll do it. So, and I have a couple of customers here that are lawyers, and they just don't have time.
Right.
And I had a lady drop me off her Tesla, and she was like, hey, do you mind plugging it for me? I'll clean it and go plug it up. So just anything that I can do to help.
It just came to my mind listening to you talk that was likely a huge added benefit to your service, as much or more valuable than just the detailing itself, is that careful, observant eye helping them look out for themselves with the safety and other aspects of their vehicle. That's a big deal. I appreciate that you do that.
Thank you.
But one of the phrases we often use, which you kind of just brought up in seeing things people don't, is familiarity breeds complacency. And so if they go out and look at the same car every day, I mean, they can tell if it's got some road spray or something on it, but they may not see those little things. But here you are up close and personal, and not only are you bringing things they may not see, you also get to bring solutions.
Right.
And as businessmen, and you're doing a fantastic job, we are in the problem-solving business. And so it seems like it's more than just solving their car and getting it detailed and looking good and seeing the value of it and making them feel good about it. It's also giving that sense of accomplishment. And so if you had an opportunity to, say, mentor a young person that sees what you do and wants to get into what you do, could you put language on that sense of productivity, to feel like you are a problem solver? I know you solve problems, but it's more than just the car. The car represents the man.
Right. To somebody trying to do this, can I get those like this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
To somebody trying to do this, I would say just don't quit.
That's great advice.
That is.
I think, and I'm quoting Nipsey Hussle, one of the people that motivated me a lot. I've been through every emotion possible in this business. I've had moments where I'm detailing cars and crying at the same time. I don't know how I'm gonna pay this or I'm gonna do this. I've went through every emotion. I think this is running a business for a man today is the closest thing to pregnancy we can get to. We go through every emotion possible to run a business. I've had days where I was like, look, I'm just gonna close it down. I don't want to do it no more. And then get up the next morning and come to work. So I've really been through every emotion and still go through them. Like, it's not all peaches and cream. It looks good on Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
So people see it and they'll message me or be like, man, bro, you doing a lot. Like, it looks nice. I like what you're doing. And I appreciate it. But on the back end, I'm trying to figure out how to make everything work for the next 6 to 8 months.
Right.
So, I mean, you're going to go through it.
Right.
I think this is like having a child. I mean, I can equate it to a lot of things, but you're going to go through a lot of emotions running a business, no matter what it is.
Right.
There's going to be times you're going to want to give up, sometimes that you don't know what to do. And one thing that I know that has helped is my faith, having faith in God. I know a lot of people don't believe in it nowadays, but hey, man, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
So being able to have faith, pray, and pray. Like, I mean, it takes that. It takes that connection with God. And I think that's something that a lot of people think they don't need, but I need that. I have to have that connection with God, because if not, I won't make it.
Right.
I wouldn't be here now. So,
Right.
yeah.
Connection with God, and then going back a few moments, and then support of people who believe in you, like your wife.
Most definitely.
And it seems like you have embraced those with humble confidence.
Most definitely.
That's my compare contrast. I'm humble about it, but I'm confident because it's feeding me.
Right,
and,
right.
And look what's happening. And success is the realization of a worthy idea. So despite all those challenging moments when we're crying over the car because I'm doing my job and I'm thinking about everything else that's distracting me, put language, if you will, on what you said. To me, this is success. And you've said some of it in serving customers, but is there anything else you'd like to add to your definition of success? Starting with the question, do you see yourself as successful?
Yes, most
Okay.
definitely. Every morning my feet hit the ground, I feel successful.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with the business. If all my toes working and fingers working, I mean, I'm successful. I know there's people that didn't get out the bed this morning.
Yeah.
And there's people that got up and something's wrong. Can you imagine waking up and your big toe don't work no more?
Yeah.
And it sounds funny, but that's how you walk. You wouldn't be able to walk. So, I mean, I feel like I'm successful in that. I mean, I'm a successful dad to my kids. As far as business, I mean, I think that you just got to keep waking up.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, old man told me, he said, how old are you? I was like, oh, I'm 25. He said, well, I'm 75. I said, man, you old. He said, yeah, keep waking up. So, I mean, that was the best advice.
Yes.
Keep waking up, you're going to make it here.
Yeah.
So I try to be consistent. Consistency is everything. McDonald's is consistent. They don't have good food, but they're consistent. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
That's why they've been in business for so long.
Right.
It don't matter if it's good, it's
Right.
there every day.
Right.
They're open at a certain time, they close at the same time, most likely.
Yeah.
But they're consistent. So
So keep waking up and be consistent.
Yes, sir.
There's successful components right there, King. I love it. Thank you.
You mentioned earlier that you were one of 6.
right.
You have 6. You are a part of 6 sibling group,
Yes.
right? So here you are doing what you do. You're a successful entrepreneur, a successful man in general, and I'm super proud to hear you say that about yourself.
Yes, sir.
Your own view of yourself has a huge impact on your activities and behaviors. So How do you? What are your siblings doing right now? How do you compare with everybody else in your sibling group? I don't mean how do you compare in success. I mean, where are they and what are they doing?
I have a sister that works in the school district. I also have another sister that does what is it when you thread in the?
A seamstress?
Is that what that is? When you do like the thread in the logos?
Oh, embroidery.
Embroidery. She has her own business doing that.
Okay.
And has been real successful doing it. She just had a baby not too long ago. Brought her son into the world.
So Uncle Wayne.
Yeah. My youngest brother, they sell bullies.
Oh, dogs.
They
Bulldogs.
sell dogs.
Yes.
So
Okay.
he does that. And him and his wife has been doing that for a little while. They're really active in the church. He's a deacon, so he does that. One of my brothers passed away, and my oldest brother, he does his lawn service. So,
Okay.
We all kind of branched off into something. And I have another sister that, I said she's in the school district. She loves kids, so she does that.
Okay. So you lost a sibling.
Yes, sir.
Do you
Yes,
want to talk about that?
Sure, sure.
How did that happen? What
He
happened?
was in Houston with a friend that we grew up with, childhood friend, and they were in a house. We don't know what happened. We found out that he was shot 6 times, and the guy he was with was shot in the back of the head. He lived for
Him and his childhood friend.
Right. He lived for about 2 days, and then they had
After
to
the incident.
take him off, and my brother died instantly. So he was shot 6 times in the chest. We went
Wow.
to 2 funerals in 1 week. So it was very, very painful.
How old was he when that happened?
About 23, I believe 23 years old.
Did he live over there in Houston or?
No, he was from here. He was
Okay.
from here.
And y'all there was no idea what he was doing?
No,
I mean,
sir.
what sort of lifestyle did he have? Do you know?
Not the best.
Okay.
Not the best. He was really in the streets a lot. I was trying to get him out. We all came up in the streets. We all came up from the streets. So with me, I just don't like what they cook in jail. So I wasn't going. So
That's a good way to put it.
That's a good way. That's a motivation not to go.
Yeah, I didn't like what they cooked, so I had to change my life up somehow.
Yeah.
I knew jail was not in the plan, so and I went. I did go, and I didn't like what they cooked, so I never went back. But he was
Changed the
involved-
menu.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. He was involved in the streets, so we don't know what happened or how it happened, but he lost his life and somebody else lost their life.
So, kind of expounding on that and honoring his life and your relationship with him. If you could give advice to a young man, like even if you went back in time and spoke to yourself, this is a question I ask everybody typically at the end of the show.
Right.
But we're gonna mix it up a little bit on yours. If you could go back in time to your younger self and his younger self, and you could give advice to him in that way, what would you tell him? How would you say it?
Have faith in God. I would tell him to have faith. I think that people not having faith is one of the reasons that we make dumb decisions. It's one of the reasons that we're not consistent on living the right way. Faith.
You
Having-
believe he lost sight of his faith?
Yes, most
And
definitely.
That's
I
part
think
of what
that-
led him down the wrong road.
Right. He stopped having faith and thinking that. See, we always try to do things ourselves, and this is something that I battled with. I think I can do it all myself because I do everything myself. I run my own business. I do the work. I do the hiring. I do the advertising, and I rely on me. So we get so confident in ourselves that we say, "Oh, I don't need God."
To the point of arrogance.
I got this. I've been doing this by myself, and we don't realize that in the end, you need God.
And you ain't alone anyway, even when you think you are.
Right. So I think a lot of times we forget And man think that we can do things on our own. We think that we don't need God. You know, we got this. Nobody runs to the Bible or anything until they're going through something. You know, then they want to pick up a
Oftentimes,
Bible.
that's right. Yes.
But what's wrong with getting up in the morning and reading a couple verses? What's wrong with praying before you go to sleep or thanking God when you woke up? You don't have to get on your knees. You can talk to him like
That's
he's
right.
a normal person.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so
While you're washing cars.
most definitely, all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the one thing that I would tell myself, and I try to tell my kids now, is to have faith, because life is not going to get easier. It's always going to be hard. You have to have faith in God. If you don't have faith in God, you're just going to keep moving and going in circles. Like it's not going to work out for you. So, faith. If I could talk to him, go back in time and talk to him or myself, it would be faith. Like, keep your faith.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
That's a
One of
great
my
way to honor him.
Favorite passages, I know that's not really a show for that, but I think it'll fit what you're saying, is Jeremiah 2:13. And God is telling Jeremiah, and he's upset with the people, and he says, my people have abandoned me, the spring of living water.
Right.
And then, so I give them everything they need. They've abandoned me, and they've gone and they dug their own wells, but they're broken wells, and they cannot hold water. They think they can do it themselves. If they would just rely on me first, I'll give them everything they need.
Right.
And it sounds like, as a young man, definitely as a now mature husband and father, you got that figured out.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I try to anyways,
Yes.
you know. Try to learn my time with my brother. I miss him. Like it seems like yesterday, you know, but I do know that he made his he made his choices to do what he needed to do, and I can't blame him or hate him for it. I can't talk to him about it, but I can change the way I move and help somebody else move differently. You know, so that's what I try to do the most.
That's good. Well, one of the words that Rob had mentioned, and you answered it brilliantly, is how to honor him. You know, because there was a best of him, and he may have been in a bad way for a bit, but there was a best of him, and that same would be with your own father, who you lost, and
Right.
say, yeah, well, how can I honor them by what I do with my life?
Yeah.
And it seems to me that you're doing that,
Most
and
definitely.
paying that forward. If nothing else, you know, with your customer service, and then of course now you're influencing your own generation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I am very proud of you, and I'm super grateful that we're allowed to have you on the show, and I appreciate you being with
appreciate y'all having
us. So, I got a question. We're going to switch gears back to business a little bit, if you don't mind, and I'm going to ask you this: who is your biggest competitor?
Me.
I love it. That's the perfect answer.
Yes.
Right.
That is the most profound answer.
I always get a phone call from somebody and they'll say, hey, a detail place opened in Beaumont. I'll be like, okay, I hope they do good. I want them to do good. And they like, well, that's your competition. Look at your competition. I don't have any competition.
That's
Like-
why you're still here after 10 years.
Most definitely.
That's
And people
exactly
will say
it.
like, man, yeah, you got competition. Like these guys are right down the street from you. And I have faith. So I do understand that what's for me is for me. What God has for me is for me. If you think I have competition, that's on you. You're watching that. I'm not watching it because I don't pay attention to anybody else. I mean, I want to see you do good, and if I can help you, I will. But I'm not in competition with anybody. None of you are stronger than my God. So if we're doing the same business, hey man, there are a lot of cars in Beaumont.
That's not a joke.
There's a lot of cars,
Ooh,
man.
man.
You're not gonna wash all of them, and I'm not gonna wash all of them.
Right.
So I mean, who am I competing with? Like, and a lot of people love to compete. They love the competition. Me myself, I'm in competition with myself. I try to outdo myself every day. I try to do a little more every day. But I stand under the will of God. So if anything, I'm in competition with me, not anybody else.
That is an inspirational answer, and I hope our viewers and listeners will take that to heart and adopt it for themselves, because that is one of the most fundamental parts of success. is to view yourself as your only competition.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
I'm proud to hear that.
Yeah, as we like to say, I coached for years. I know you've probably been involved with other things like that, sports and such. And I often tell these young athletes, I said, trust me, 51% or more of your competition wears your jersey. Only 49% or less wears theirs.
Yeah.
And it's actually bigger than that.
Right.
And so what do you bring into the game? And you mentioned kind of earlier in our conversation today about your first competitive moment is to get out of bed. And then get moving. That's what the 75-year-old friend was trying to impress on
Keep
that
waking
young
up.
man. To keep waking up. Keep waking up. So
Most definitely.
thank you for that. Yeah. So in your particular industry, so yes, there are other folks out there that do what you do, and like you mentioned earlier about growing up with your dad, you know, and an individual could just go by the car wash and do it themselves if they have an interest in that. So that being said, what sets you apart? You've mentioned it a few times, but just to kind of, we're getting to the recap part here of our conversation today. What sets you apart in your industry?
I care about it. I'm a detailer. You can go wash your car, but you're gonna come to me when you want it detailed.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference.
Yes.
I really despise when people call it a car wash. That annoys me. It's kind of like somebody saying, I like the small business you have. No, it's not a small business. It's a business.
It's more than that. It's your heart.
You know, so
Yes.
You put
somebody
your heart
saying
into
that is like, bro, this is not a small business. It's like, oh, I see that little business you got going on. You know, so
Wow.
when people say it's a car wash, this
It
is not a
sounds
car
judgmental,
wash.
yeah.
This is a detail establishment. We detail cars here. We cleaning your air vents. You know,
Yes.
you don't get that at a car wash.
Yes.
So I think that sets me apart because I detail vehicles.
Yes.
You know, and I take it to the extreme. I like to do things that other people wouldn't do or don't have time to do. So
There's
I care.
There's a lot in that word detail, isn't
It
there?
is.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
is. I detail. That's what it is. I detail.
Yeah.
You are passionately committed to quality, and you put your name behind
Yeah.
everything you
Most
do.
definitely.
Which that's huge to me, and I can say from personal experience that you do a fine job.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Yes,
Yes.
I did do your truck.
Yes, yes,
A couple times. Now, that's a big truck too.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And what do you want to do next? What's next on the docket for Wayne Alex?
Netflix.
Netflix. So
That's
explain
my
what
goal.
you mean.
You
wanna have your own show?
Yeah.
About what
About
you do,
detailing.
like a docu-series?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Yes.
Because nobody really, like, unless you've ever done it or been a part of it, and even then, they wouldn't know what you do or the way you do it.
Right.
I'm on YouTube. That's my one of my goals to get to is YouTube and Netflix. As far as putting it out and merchandise, is the end game.
Well, I believe that if that is where your heart is and what you want, we will see it soon.
Most definitely.
And I look forward to seeing it. I'll tune in and watch it. So y'all heard it here first. Get ready for the YouTube channel with Wayne Alex.
Yes.
What would you call it?
Oh, that's a good.
We going
question.
too far? We going too far?
No, that's a good question. I'm
The
not
auto
sure.
goat?
I'm not sure. I would like it to be something that's catchy and you know represents the company, but I don't know. I don't know what I would call it.
Okay. Well, we're getting the wheels turning. I can
That's it.
tell.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I can't wait to hear it.
I guarantee you that that seed is already germinating as we speak, and maybe this might have been that spark of that question. And you're in our community. We see you all the time,
Right,
so
right.
we're gonna be passing you downstairs one time. And you're gonna be like, I got that name. Yes, and we'll be sure to let everybody know.
Yes, sir.
Good
Yes,
for
sir.
you. Good for you.
So, are you? How would someone? Are you hiring right now? Do you need help?
Yes, we are hired. We are hired. We are hiring for detailers, and I'm actually starting to look for people to do the mobile as well. So yeah, we are hired.
How would a person, if they wanted a job with you, how would they get in touch with you? Would you like to give the information here to our viewers?
Sure. We're on Facebook, Next Level Car Care. Our website is nextlevelcarcare.net. You can contact me 409-434-7636, or you can just come to the Edison Plaza. Security would let you know where we're located. They'll send you to our office. Anyway, Facebook, Instagram, same thing. Everything is Next Level Car Care. So you can hit us on Google, wherever. We're on every platform.
So what do you look for in an employee?
Dedication. I got to be able to depend on you, and be consistent and love what you do. I mean, I can respect anybody who takes pride in what they do. I don't care if it's flipping burgers or whatever.
So they don't have to have experience. They don't have to have a certain education or training. They need to have a commitment to your type of quality, a commitment to your integrity, and they need to be reliable and honest.
Most definitely. You don't have to have a bunch of college courses or none of this. This is a trade, and this is something that, I try to tell my kids now because they're getting older and graduating, like, have a trade. Don't I'm not knocking college.
No, not at all.
Not knocking it, but nowadays I've met so many people that went to college that are not doing what they went to college for.
That's exactly right.
But you meet people that have a trade and they have a job forever. Mm-hmm. They can either start their own business or they can go work for a big company. But it's because of the trade. It's you're bringing the muscle to the fight and not the fight to the muscle. So I believe that you should have a trade.
And I agree with you. And if our viewers pay attention on every episode that we have, almost invariably, our guests, we consider them successful. And more times than not, their training, if they did go to college, the pursuit that they're in has nothing to do with the college that they took. It's what they grew into. It's the pursuit of their purpose that mattered the most.
Right.
So I agree with you. A trade is an extremely valuable resource.
Most definitely, man. I don't think that I don't push my kids to go to college to go into debt. I push them to go and get a trade, because if you go to college, let's say if you're not going for something major like being a doctor or a lawyer or something that society needs, and it's just something that people may want, like I don't want to name anybody's profession. It seems crazy, but a lot of these professions, you see what happened when we had the change in the White House. In our area, in the Golden Triangle, it's called the Golden Triangle because this is where all of the oil is. So, that being the case, a lot of people lost money. A lot of them, and even with my mobile business, man, it dropped significantly after Trump left out of office. So, if you don't have a trade, I was able to change some things up because I have a trade.
Right.
So it's still necessary. It's still needed. So
you adapted to your market.
Most definitely. I have to watch things. I have to watch the weather. I have to watch the news. I have to watch Wall Street. I need to watch everything because right now, as we're sitting here, trades are being made. Before you wake up, things are happening in your life that you don't even know.
That's right.
So.
But it all has an impact.
Most definitely.
Yes.
And I don't think people really understand that, while you're sleeping, while you're working, things are changing. This bottle of water just went up. Anything. This microphone just went up. So today it was $300. Next week it's $450. It keeps moving. And if you're not able to be on point and understand how the world works, then you're in last place. So
that is very astute of you to pay attention to all that stuff so carefully, and that's what's kept you going for 10 plus years. I'm very proud to hear you see things that way. That's very impressive. So how would somebody, if they're a local viewer, a local listener within the Golden Triangle area, how would they become your client? Is it the same contact information that you gave before?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can book with us, nextlevelcarcare.net, or you can walk in. We're right here in the Edison Plaza, located in the parking garage. So you can walk in and drop your car off. We have a lobby you can wait in. Sometimes there's snacks if I don't eat them all, but you know, you're welcome to come in and get your car cleaned. We have subscriptions. We have one for $60. That's the most popular. The next level subscription. That one is you get 3 details a month. Whenever you want them, you can book them whenever. We also have a 2-car subscription that's $85, and it's 6 a month. You get 3 a piece. And we have the VIP subscription, which is $150 for 2 vehicles, and you get unlimited details. But every time you come, you will pretty much get a full detail. So we have different ones. We have an outside wash subscription for $45. It's just the outside wash. So we do have subscriptions, and if you don't want a subscription, you just want to get it clean, our prices are pretty much the lowest in Beaumont. We started like a Olive Cart. You build your detail. So instead of me presenting you with a package, you can come in and just tell me everything you want, and we put it down and we get it done like that. So you get what you pay for with us.
I love that.
So if somebody,
I love that.
maybe they're at a certain level in their personal life, their profession, that they're able to afford something that they want to keep up.
Right.
Like with it. So you're able, with your years of experience, it seems like you're able to say, well, we'll do whatever you want. And they may go, well, I don't know. Okay, then we can walk them through that and say, well, here's a way to, and then once it clicks, they're like, oh, okay, I got it. I can add all these things. So they don't have to perfectly know when they get there. Like, no, I'll help you build that.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
Most definitely. Because you may not know. A lot of people don't know what they want until they get there and realize, okay, I need this.
Yes.
You want one thing, but this is what you need.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people come in and they're like, hey man, I want a detail, I want to get this, and this done. And I'll go through it with them and say, okay, I'll look at the vehicle and say, hey, you don't need this. They'll be like, what you mean? Well, this is for a certain purpose, like let's say overspray. I'll have somebody come in and they'll want a clay bar, and they think that the clay bar takes the scratches out of their vehicle. Well, clay bar is for overspray. It's not for scratches. So they'll add it, and it's $120, and they get there, and I can just say, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do it. But I'll tell them you don't need that. Oh, I didn't know. I thought it made, no, that's not what you need. You're just going to spend money on nothing because this is not for your vehicle.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just caring. I care that I don't want you to come in and just spend all your money. I would rather you come back.
Right.
Multiple times.
Right.
If a person comes in and spends $100 and I rush to get that $100 and, that's all I wanted from them, and they feel like, man, he just wanted my money.
Right.
But if a person comes in and they spend $20, then the next time $30, $20, that's a consistent amount of money I've made from that person, and they're coming back because they like the service, they like to talk to me, they love my work. So I try to get repeat customers. That's my thing. I love new customers, but I value repeat customers.
Right.
So.
Right.
You value people and the relationships. That's what it sounds like
Most
to me.
definitely.
More important than their car
Right.
is them as people.
Right.
Do you have anything to add, Chuck? We're about ready to close.
No, I'll go back just a couple of steps, but I appreciate that conversation we were having. I know we kind of drifted a little bit away from it, but almost like we're always looking to influence that next generation that's coming.
Yes.
And one of the language I like to use when young people come in is always be looking for the next extraordinary thing.
Most
Meaning, let's say you are about to wrap up your high school career. Okay, well that's never going to be enough. You have to add to it. So if you're working with equipment, if you're working in an industry, you're working in a trade, there's always a learning. And we mentioned the college level. For what I wanted to do, that was the only path I could take.
Right.
They're not going to let me in the gate. I wanted to coach, so I had to have that education degree. Now, did that make me a better coach? No, but it opened the gate.
Right.
And so if young people aren't quite sure, I hope they approach you and say, hey, if nothing else, at least I will have learned something beyond where I came from.
Yeah.
And if it turns into an industry for me, well, all the better. You know, so I hope anybody, but especially young people, are picking up on what you're trying to influence them. So if you have an interest, let's see if they can turn into a trade.
Right.
You know, and which is kind of what it probably started out as an interest, probably washing your own vehicles and washing your folks. You're like, and then all of a sudden the neighbor said, hey man, will you? Yeah. Oh, they pay me to do this. Well, I'm gonna learn everything I can about this. And then there's all the trial and error and things that came from that. So I appreciate you addressing that today. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Do you have any closing things that you'd like to say to everybody out there participating with us? Anything you'd like to add, advice, anything for aspiring entrepreneurs, for just young parents, young people, anything you'd like to throw out there, anything at all?
Keep faith in God.
That same message, I love it.
I do too.
Keep faith in God, man. I could tell you a bunch of stuff to help you, but the one important thing that I know, I'm not gonna say I think, I know that's
Yes.
important, is having faith. The Bible says having faith of a mustard seed is enough. So you can have a little bit of faith and get away with it. You know, so
Yes.
I mean that matters. Faith is what keeps me going. Faith is what makes me come up here every day. Faith is what makes me believe in what I'm doing. My faith in God, because man will let you down every time. So
Absolutely.
I have faith in God. I have a real faith in God, man. And you know, it came from Him humbling me. You know, sometimes God will humble you. He'll take everything from you until you have nothing but Him, and then you have to, you know, submit. So you know, I would say faith in God, man. I'm not trying to sound cliche or
No, not at all.
man. Faith in God is very, very important in anything that you do. Whether it's a business, it's being a husband, being a father. It's gonna take faith, because kids will bring the worst out you sometimes. Your wife will bring the worst out you sometimes. But if you keep faith in God, you should be good, most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Wayne, it has been an absolute privilege and an honor to have you on here with us. Thank you for joining us for
Thank
the
you for having
program.
me.
Thank you for blessing our participants out there. And I just can't thank you enough
Appreciate it, man.
for allowing us to become a part of the pursuit of your purpose.
Most definitely.
So thank you, everybody out there. Again, this has been Wayne Alex with
Next Level Car Care.
Next Level Car Care. I hope you all will sign up for a subscription service. And again, this is,
Chuck Olaf.
and I'm Robbie Martin. Thank y'all for joining us. Y'all have a great day.
Most definitely.
Good job.
Yep.
That was a great episode.
That was.
I think people will enjoy that.
Well done,
I
man.
think they'll get a
Thank
lot